Hide your kids. Lock the doors. You're listening to HR's most dangerous podcast. Chad Sowash and Joel Cheeseman are here to punch the recruiting industry right where it hurts. Complete with breaking news, brash opinion, and loads of snark. Buckle up, boys and girls. It's time for the Chad and Cheese Podcast.
Just two guys who are too legit to quit unless it's around an hour after lunchtime. Hey, kids, you are listening to the Chad and Cheese Podcast. I'm your co-host, Joel Hush Money Cheeseman.
This is Chad, well, I should say almost Euro Chad Sowash.
On this episode, LinkedIn crushes, Elon crashes, and light 'em if you got 'em.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Oh, I'm feeling it, my friend. I am feeling it.
How's Santa Fe?
If you're watching on YouTube, you can see my background. Unless there's way too much light and it's like oversaturating, but there are mountains behind me. I mean, it is fucking crazy. And guess where I'm going tomorrow? Guess.
Is it New Mexico?
Big Nose Cake Distillery is here in Santa Fe. So I actually hooked up with Mel, their CEO, and she's actually hooking us up. So we're going to go over, have a few drinks, and check it out. So Big Nose Cake Western Whiskey. That's right. That's right, baby.
T-shirt, everybody. If you're listening or watching, got the T-shirt.
Yeah, what you got going on?
Good stuff. So I'm I could maybe one up that. I'm going to the Kentucky Derby this weekend. So
do you have a hat? Do you have a hat?
No hat. I'm not going to show up my wife. She's got some headgear apparently, but I do have some fun suits. Maybe I'll post some of those on LinkedIn for listeners. Definitely show up on Facebook if you follow me there. We're going to Friday is the Oaks, which is I think the younger fillies, the younger horses. So I have a pink suit with horses on it.
Nice.
And then for the Derby, I have a powder blue polka dot kind of thing going on. So it's good stuff. So I've been to the Derby a lot of times. I'm from the area, but it's always been the infield, which is basically just drunks and boobies everywhere. So this will be my first time
for horse racing.
Yes, we're classing it up this year. We spent a little cabbage, and we're gonna do it right. So I'm excited for that. I can't get too messed up though because we got Vegas in our future, which we will get to in the latter segment of this. But let's get to
shout outs, baby. My first shout out, here it goes to Decebo. Have no clue who this fucking company is. But anyway, they are sending the following email out to people who are attending Unleash next week. Quote, Decebo is heading over to Vegas for Unleash from May 7th to May 9th. And we're hosting an exclusive private breakfast with Josh Burson on May 8th. Here's the link to register if you're in to hear from the Taylor Swift of HR. Yes, they call Josh Burson the Taylor Swift of HR. What the actual fuck? I mean, have they never heard of Truth in Advertising, for God's sakes? What the hell?
The only thing they have in common is maybe body weight. He's a slight man for sure, but
he's a little guy. Yeah.
Wow, that's a stretch. The Taylor Swift. Oh man, I got nothing.
Oh my God, ridiculous.
All right, I'm going to shout out to our friends at Hiring Branch, straight out of Montreal in Canada. As you might remember, in January, the wife and I went up, took a train to Montreal, went to a Canadiens hockey game. Much to Serge Boudreau's, angst. And they had ordered us jerseys, but they're nice jerseys, custom names and everything. And they hadn't come in yet. Now the jerseys, this is socialism for you. The jerseys are ready 3 or 4 months or 5 months after I visited. So
Whatever.
these are awesome. Yours is like white, like official jersey with Chad, and mine is cheese on the back. I got the red jersey.
Very nice.
Now I don't know how
Very
douchey
nice.
it is to have Chad on your jersey. That's kind of funny,
Who
but
cares?
you don't
Who cares?
give a shit. But yes,
I don't
hiring
care.
branch. Thank you, Canadians, such nice, kind people, and we appreciate it. So shout out to the folks at Hiring Branch.
Love us some Hiring Branch. And no, I can't skate. I cannot ice skate, especially backwards. That's just not happening. My next shout out to my sport, the NFL and the NFL draft. So getting to see these young men start their professional journey they've dreamed about since they've been little kids is just so awesome.
Sure.
And I wanted to share a couple of the press conference interviews. So the first one is Xavier Leggett, who was drafted by the Carolina Panthers. Check this out. It's hilarious.
Am I going to cry?
It's awesome.
Am I going to cry?
You might. It's okay. Here we go.
Woke up a Carolina Panther this morning. Did you have to pinch yourself a little bit?
Oh no, man. I woke up ready, man. I got a call right after I got drafted. They was coming to pick me up at 9:30 in the morning. I told them I'm gonna be ready.
I told him I'm gonna be ready. Okay.
Yeah.
And then the second one, that one went viral on the socials, and so did this one. This one's Keon Coleman, who was drafted by the Buffalo Bills. Do this. Come on now. Come on, technology. We can do this. Here we go. All right.
Nah, man, you forgot I went to school in Michigan for 2 years? Guess where I got this from, though? That's what I'm saying. You got to guess. You going to be wrong, though, but guess.
Time is up.
Nah. What you mean? they be on sale on the rack, all the colors. $79, $89. Nice little deal. You get the trench coat for like $100. I'll take you there personally. God. I might go get some more colors. I need a blue one and another red one.
Oh my God, dude. I freaking love it.
Yeah.
I love it. These kids, again, I call them kids. I mean, they're young men, but I mean, you can just see how happy they are. I mean, they're just, it's amazing. I can't tell you how many of these draft videos I watched on TikTok. I just can't tell you. So anyway, shout out to the NFL draft and these kids starting the journey in their professional career. And this is talent, man. This is talent
for sure. And like, those moments will be fleeting with NIL money. So these are kids that like have no money, grew up in probably really tough circumstances, and now they've made it. With NIL money, a lot of these kids are going to be making money and then going into the NFL. So these sort of magical moments, I fear will be fleeting with a lot of people. This
will be the last time that you actually see them literally coming bright-eyed, bushy-tailed to a press conference. From now on, they're going to be trained. I mean, they're going to go through training in the NFL to pretty much just go by the company line, right? Yep. So this is like the last time we actually get to see them as real human beings, in a good way.
Heartwarming.
Yes,
and they'll also probably get a real girlfriend. My shout out goes to AI girlfriends, which have made quite a ruckus on the internets this week. Apparently, Meta, Instagram, other social media sites are flooded now with AI girlfriend apps asking you to download and get a girlfriend. She's not a real person, but hey, for a lot of people, that's okay. Now, the problem is, the real women, the OnlyFans millionaires, they can't advertise on Facebook, Meta, and Instagram because it's trafficking. There are laws around it. If it's not a real person, you can do it. So it's quite an uproar that the real ladies out there can't get their time in the sun on your Facebook feed. So shout out to the AI girlfriends out there.
Ridiculous. Shout out to Free Stuff Kids. T-shirts by Aaron App. Beer by Aspen Tech Labs. Whiskey, get 2 bottles from Text Kernel. And if it's your birthday, it's a little rum with plum. Go to chadcheese.com/free and register to win like these people registered to win.
That's right. I think I heard you say plum. So that leads me to click this soundbite. That's right. Some of our lucky winners go to Desiree Goldie, our friend,
Oh.
we interviewed recently, Amanda Hall.
She was just on.
Amanda Hall, who, by the way, sometimes you really make these folks' day. Sometimes they really freak out and like, I can't believe
yeah.
you're texting me and that you're sending me stuff. So Amanda got beer from us and got a job offer the same day. So talk about
Wow.
a hurricane of good news, free beer from
That
us.
is awesome.
And a new job. So Amanda, shout out to you for sure on that.
Amanda.
And then our friend Jonathan Godzilla or Zilla, however you want to say it, is our rum with plum winner because it was his birthday. And those other people that are celebrating another trip around the sun this week go to Annie Jarvis, Glenn Hill, Garvit Sharma, Jerry Frank, Peter Shapira, Shauna Berthold, Keegan Osipek, Stefan Jean, Sarah Addison, Bennett Sung, JT O'Donnell, a.k.a. the Mouth of Portsmouth, Robert Rayner, Alfonso Zamora, Herb Drew, Come On Eileen Kowalski, Lou Adler, and one of our favorites, I think it's fair to say, Joe Shaker.
Oh,
celebrating a birthday.
Joey Shaker, that's awesome.
By the way, I think he's good on betting the over on the Bears this coming year. I think it's at 8.5 right now. The weapons they've added, I think that's an over for me. Just FYI.
A lot of weapons that they added and a lot of work for a lot of rookies. So yeah, and not to mention a rookie in the most important position being quarterback who touches the ball on every offensive play. So good luck, man.
I love his shade of nail polish. By the way, Caleb's got some good fashion sense on the nail polish.
I love a guy who is not afraid to show who
totally
he is.
secure in his manhood. Totally secure in his manhood.
Which you'll be doing next week.
I won't be secure in my manhood jumping off the strat. Trust me.
We're going to Unleash America in Vegas on the 7th. We will be jumping off the Stratosphere with Matt Bauer. That's right, Matt Bauer, the CEO of Outhire.ai. You might see it here, kids. It's an over 850-foot drop, and we're going to be joined by Josh Gamble, Josh Ramsey, Serge Boudreau, Joel Lagali, Jason Putnam, Michelle Meehan, and Russ Weaver. Then later that night, we're hopping over to the -5 bar for Omar's Ice Castle. That's
Sold
on
out.
the 7th. That's right, baby. For Job Pixel and Great People. We're going to be basking in the neon glow at the Neon Boneyard with our friends from Plum for Neon Nights. Now, come see us when we're at Unleash, and who knows, there are a few passes that Joel and I have. We might be able to get you into that one. It is already locked down, but Joel and I have a couple of free passes. So if you hit us right, you might get something. Then we're going to Scotland for True Glasgow and True Edinburgh. And and guess who's joining us in Scotland, Joel? It's a long list
all of our
Scottish
favorite
players.
Scots. Yes.
Oh yeah, they're all over the place. Plus Matt Alder. Yep, this is going to be a recruiting future in Chad and Cheese Joint, which is going to be a blast. May 21st at the Revolution de Cuba in Glasgow. May 23rd, the Three Sisters Bar in Edinburgh. We already have some great practitioners that are lined up to be track leaders from PayPal, Lloyds of London, Diageo, E&Y, AMS, Brooks Automation. The Scottish government is going to show up, and several more. So register for one or even both events at TrueScotland.com. That's true without the E, TRU, Scotland.com. Thanks to all the sponsors. Got to love these sponsors because they're making this happen. Daxtra, Ashby, Solutions Driven, Gigged.ai, Willow, and Poetry. That's right. Chad and Cheese meets Recruiting Future in Scotland at True Glasgow and True Edinburgh. Don't miss it.
Very cool. Very cool. So you said the government's going to be there?
Yes, the government's going to be there. Scottish government's.
Are we sure Stephen McGrath doesn't have any warrants out for his arrest? Like, is it safe for him to be around government officials?
I got nothing, dude. I don't know. I think he probably has some contacts within the government. So I think he'll
Adam probably has some get out of jail free cards for Steven as part of his employment. By the way, talk about those that are lightweights, Taylor Swift style. I'm a little worried about Serge jumping out of the Strat. Are we sure that he's heavy enough to make it to the bottom, and he's not just going to like fly around like a whirly bird from a tree? Anyway.
We'll let him go first. First or last, one of the two. One of the first or last. You're the first or last, Serge.
If you ain't first, you're last, baby.
Last. Topics.
All right, Chad, we got some breaking news that happened about 10 minutes before we got on the air. So sources are telling us that Hired.com effectively shut down this week, laid off the entire team, and said they're rolling the product into LHH, which is a global business unit of the Adecco Group. In case you missed it, Hired had raised $133 million before being acquired by Vettery, which was acquired by Adecco in 2018 for a reported $100 million. Hired founded in 2012 with a great deal of fanfare, and its height was worth $500 million. Again, Hired.com shutting down. If you go to their site, it's pretty clear that it's over. If you're looking to poach some people, check out those Hired profiles on LinkedIn, because there's some people that are probably looking for a job next week.
Yeah. I mean, this just, again, over and over and over, there should be an organization who understands the business of recruiting, and that's staffing. But Adecco obviously didn't know what the fuck they're doing. AMS with hourly, right?
Yeah.
And Randstad with Monster. Those are just three. Okay. I mean, these are companies who understand the business of recruiting, of staffing, right? But apparently they have no fucking clue what to do and or how to productize and sell product. I don't get it. I really don't.
Yep. And we've said it before. Companies go out of business not because they raised too little money, because they raised too much money. And there's a lot of millions floating around in all these deals.
You ain't kidding, man.
All right. Let's go to LinkedIn, shall we?
Okay.
Company that never gets any pub on the podcast. LinkedIn's revenue increased by 10% despite a weaker hiring environment. Microsoft anticipates mid to high single-digit revenue growth for LinkedIn in the next quarter, leveraging AI to enhance member experiences. What kind of experiences, Chad, you might ask? Well, look out, Wordle. LinkedIn has officially, we talked about it, but they've officially launched 3 in-app games, Pinpoint, Queens, and Crossclimb, to engage users and potentially monetize through a subscriptions model. You'll be able to play each game once per day, and after your daily session, you'll get access to all kinds of metrics, including your high score and daily streak, different leaderboards, and who in your networks has also played. Chad, is this a silver bullet that LinkedIn has been waiting for? What are your thoughts on the revenues and the games at LinkedIn?
Yeah, I would have thought that their revenues would be. I mean, to see them get a 20 or a 10% lift isn't bad, because I mean, if you take a look at it, the jobs that are open and being created are generally not in the LinkedIn population of users, right? So yeah, 10%, that's not a bad thing. The whole Wordle thing is interesting, and really we've talked about this over the last few weeks with LinkedIn. Is they're trying to become more sticky. They want you to come back every single day. And what does Wordle have? Those motherfuckers, they get people back at least once a day, right? So that is active and captivated audiences. They want your average person to come back every day. That will elevate their audience numbers and allow them to really focus on what we talked about before, moving from, I shouldn't say moving from, but expanding from recruiter seats to the bigger total addressable market of marketing and advertising spend. They're looking at doing videos. They're looking at doing all these different things. What do you really need to make that work? They need users that are sticky, that are coming back every day, and guys like me and you who are on it every day. They know we're going to be there, right? They need everybody else, right? We're the 20%. They need the 80% who are not there every day, and they are hoping and gambling on something like this.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to say it, but it's pretty smart. They need people like my wife. They have 1 billion users, I think. Maybe 200 million are on the site on any kind of regular basis. If you're not in recruiting or sales and marketing, you're probably on LinkedIn once or twice a year. updating your profile, adding a credential, and then you're done. People love this Wordle shit. They love posting it on Facebook and the socials about, hey, it only took me 3 tries to get the word. So if they create a nice little social share thing on this, like, yeah, people will do it. People love this game shit. I'm not into it, but I know a lot of people are. In terms of the money thing, like we talked about this before, the recipe for LinkedIn is working like a charm. It's get rid of the competition, put up the moat, and I know moat has been criticized. Moat's a thing. Moat is a thing. If you can't easily duplicate it, moat is a thing. You can't just build a bridge across a moat. So kill the competition, get rid of the fake profiles, which I think they're trying to do, and then you become a monopoly, and then you can start raising prices. So until Elon's LinkedIn killer comes along and gives them some competition, they're going to continue to ratchet up the prices, and you, Mr. and Mrs. Recruiter, are going to keep paying those prices because that's what you're going to do. And as long as you keep paying it, their revenues are going to go up. And this is what we're seeing on that side of the house.
So I wonder if they're just going to allow the tech, which I mean is like the networking tech, just to stay this dilapidated, 20-year-old tech, which is what it is today. The matching sucks, the usability. I mean, it's just way too complex, and for many people who don't use it on a daily basis, it's hard to fucking navigate to do just the basic things that you want to do, other than posting, right? So yeah, I wonder, because there is much more marketing and advertising dollars that are out there. Again, HR is very slow to change. They do hear their recruiters whine, whether they use LinkedIn or not. Don't take away my seats. Don't take away my seats. So they might feel like they really don't have to put the money and or time into the recruitment aspect of it. They're going to focus on where the big money is. And I don't know, but all I got to say is the tech sucks. If they can make the advertising and the marketing and advertising piece good for them, I mean, the recruiter seat side of the house might just have to, work with baling wire and duct tape for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, I mean, it won't be the first time a monopoly has fallen down on innovation in the history of commerce. But I mean, look, we talked about this with Indeed, with their healthcare channel and their tech channel, right? Like, if LinkedIn can just get 10% more nurses to use LinkedIn because of these games, they can go to every healthcare facility in the country and say, oh, in terms of nurses, we have an engagement of X. We have this many monthly active users that are nurses. And you know what? Hospital systems are going to pull out the blank check and pay whatever LinkedIn says, because they can show some of those numbers, which they cannot right now. And if they can show tech people coming onto the platform and other segments, then they just create new money channels to fill the coffers. But you're right. You're a monopoly, and there are little ways to dial it up. And this, I think, is one of the ways to dial it up. We'll have to see if it works. So we were scared that we wouldn't have enough red meat and news for the listeners this week. And
we
there
got
you go, a couple of breaking stories. We'll be right back. Listen to the sponsor. There's no show without sponsors.
LinkUp is the leading provider of deep, accurate, and actionable labor market data. Unique in that we only get job listings from the one source of truth, the employer's website. By going to the source, we avoid all the duplicate and expired job listings that plague job boards and thereby other job data sets. Our data offers the clearest window into employers of all types and sizes throughout the world for an ever-growing number of use cases and applications.
All right, Chad, you ready for a little Elon news?
No.
We're going to get it anyway. All right.
I know.
Some headlines this week from Elon. I'll read them, and you can comment on what struck your curiosity or not. So here we go. Number one, man furious after Cybertruck breaks down repeatedly in first month. Number two, Elon teases XTV, saying site will be the everything app. Number three, Elon chuckles at post comparing LinkedIn users with zombies. And the last one, Tesla's senior director of HR leaves, making another executive departure. Just another week in all things Elon. Your thoughts?
Well, we just we're talking about LinkedIn, so let's go back to it. So Musk is worrying about LinkedIn, and he should be worrying about Threads, as data from Apptopia shows that Threads is seeing more daily users in the U.S. than Twitter. Now, that's one of the things. I mean, there's a lot of sleight of hand that happens with Musk. This also the XTV, and let's be clear, kids. If you type in x.com into your browser, it takes you to twitter.com. So this is Twitter TV. Twitter is losing trust. He wants this everything app. If you want an everything app, you have to have trust, and they're losing users. They're losing trust, and he's hoping that these smoke and mirrors actually help and bring people back to the platform, much like LinkedIn's games. And last but not, I mean, the whole HR thing. He doesn't. He thinks HR is extraneous anyway. I believe. I don't think he really gives two shits about HR. But the Cybertruck issue, he cares about that.
Yep.
Less than 4,000 Cybertrucks have been delivered, which is I thought was a very low number. And then watching them break down and get stuck is all the rage on social media. I saw one in town here just the other day in Santa Fe, and it's just ugly as fuck. It looks like a block of wood with aluminum panels attached. I mean, I know it's more than that, but that's what it looks like. The first time I saw it, I thought, wow, that is kind of space agey and whatnot. But when I finally saw one close up, and I got a good look at it, I was like, man, this thing is ugly as fuck. I mean, it'd be like driving a block of wood.
And coming from a military guy who probably drove a Hummer at some point in his life.
Oh yeah, yep. That's my first vehicle. Actually, it was a Humvee.
Yep. I'll take the other side of the Cybertruck. I saw it in Phoenix twice. I think it's badass. Yeah. My wife won't let me buy one or even think about it. So it's what it is. What it is. They need to gift a Cybertruck to every rapper and pro athlete in the country and watch this thing like go nuts. So it's just going to take a few celebrities to be in this thing that's going to make it pop. Now they have to figure out the whole breakdown. I read a story where they say don't take it through a car wash. Something about it's just weird. That's they say wash it yourself because it. They're
recalling them all because of acceleration. The accelerator sticking.
That's a problem too. Fuck? Yeah. That makes car wash problems seem really, really little in comparison. So, Cybertruck, I think it's badass. Whatever, we'll see. Twitter. A lot of people don't remember this. In 2016, Twitter aired some Thursday night football games. They're not airing them anymore. Shockingly, people didn't understand. I got a smart TV, download a Twitter app. I watch it on my computer. I just don't get it. So I'm not sure how XTV. It's almost just silly to say XTV.
Smoke and mirrors.
It better have good porn if it's called XTV. That's all I'm saying.
Triple XTV.
So I think that's one of his frivolous bullshit comments, like he made about autonomous vehicles over a decade ago, that it was going to happen really, really soon. In terms of LinkedIn, man, like put up or shut up. You're going to talk shit about LinkedIn and it's not cool and people are zombies on. Like, let's see something. Like, let's see you do some LinkedIn competitor shit. I don't know you did jobs. That hasn't really set the world on fire. Let's see a profile thing. So like, just put up or shut up in terms of LinkedIn. Now, the one thing I did think was interesting is laying off HR executive. And the reason I think it's important is because people do watch what Elon does. And when he lays off 80% of his tech team, the year of efficiency kicks in and multiple tech companies start laying off a lot of tech people. If he is in Silicon Valley, wherever, saying we laid off HR, we didn't miss a beat, you don't need HR, we have automation or whatever it is, people are going to listen, whether you agree with it or not. And they're going to say, do we really need an HR department? And if Elon can say you don't need an HR department, yes, guess what? A lot of companies are going to go say, oh yeah, we don't need an HR department. And you're going to see this trend happen where HR executives are like, oh shit, Elon put me out of a job because he told the world that you don't need an HR department. So that's the one thing that I would watch in regards to our space. Hopefully people will ignore it and just say it's just an executive, because it's kind of mysterious. They don't know if she resigned, if she was fired. Like it's sort of veiled in mystery what happened to this person. But I do think it's a trend to watch. If he comes out and says you don't need HR, that's probably bad for HR.
Yeah. I don't think that matters at all, because many of the companies look at HR and they do see it as a cost center, which I've said in many occasions is bullshit. But when you start taking a look at compliance, and that motherfucker who takes a shit ton of government funding, taxpayer dollars, I guarantee you, he with SpaceX, he has a robust HR team, compliance team, auditing team. I guarantee you, because that company does not exist without taxpayer dollars, period. Doesn't exist.
All right, let's get into unions.
Yes.
Hotel workers that are unionized in 18 U.S. and Canadian cities will rally on May Day for significant pay raises as negotiations begin with Marriott International, Hilton Worldwide Holdings, and Hyatt Hotels Incorporated. The talks will cover about 40,000 workers seeking to reverse pandemic-era staffing cuts and secure higher wages. Chad, what's good for the auto workers is probably good for the hotel folks too. What are your thoughts?
Yep. Yeah, I mean, having a collective voice is really the only way to go for hospitality workers. And I'm sure those 40,000 hospitality workers heard Sean Fain, the president of the UAW, talking about out of control CEO and executive pay versus everyday American workers getting the scraps. Plus, the UAW and Daimler Trucks last Friday struck a tentative deal, which includes a minimum pay raise of 25% for union employees. So these workers are seeing the power of collective bargaining. And I mean, if you take a look at the Marriott International CEO, Anthony, was it Capiano? That is one hell of an Italian name. I love that. His total compensation via salary.com says it's $18 million, and that's 506 times the median employee pay. It's out of control. So when it comes down to, once again, back in 1978, CEO pay in the US has skyrocketed from 78 to today, 1,200%, while worker increases a mere 15% in the exact same time period. So this all affects, from the trickle down, AKA supplied side economics era. The money went to the top and it never trickled down. And that's what's fueling all this dissension within the corporate ranks. So for all those people who are using and talking about the unions are corrupt, whole line of propaganda and thinking, look at the fucking numbers, because without union representation, these workers are getting fucked and getting paid poverty wages and also understaffed, right? So this is something that we need. We went way too far in one direction. Now we've got to try to rebalance. So if it does go all the way over in the other direction to try to get it to balance, I see that's the only way to do it.
Yeah. So the pandemic happens. No one travels and layoffs happen. The ones that are left, the company says, look, to make it, you're going to have to take some cuts. You're going to have to swallow some pain. But when it comes back, we'll be fine, right? So just like the auto industry in 2008, but this is 10 years later. Yeah, okay, we'll take the deal. We'll do what's good for the business. We want you to survive and thrive, and I still want to have a job, so I'll take whatever concessions I need. Fast forward, 2, 3, 4 years later, the company hasn't made good on returning salaries back to where they were. And by the way, inflation is really high for folks that are doing the jobs that actually really suck at hotels. By the way, guests are assholes. Like the fact that people deal with that should get pay anyway. Staff per occupied room is down 13% since 2019, according to the union. So they're doing more work for less pay, and something's got to give. And I think the auto workers are a blueprint for like, how do we get the corporations to actually pay us a fair wage and get us to where we should be after the pandemic. And I think just like the auto workers, they're going to get what they asked for. I also think there's evidence to say that although Airbnb is robust in terms of revenues, that I think brand wise, like I'm off Airbnb. I don't know about you, but like it was fun for a while, but I like to have a front desk.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, you love it. You love it. So, but I'm off it. I won't stay at an Airbnb unless I absolutely have to. Now you stay longer at places than maybe I do, but I think there's a little bit of a reaction. Like Airbnb wasn't the killer, which was probably part of like, hey, Airbnb's breathing down our neck. We need to make concessions in terms of salaries. I think that fear was largely bloated and exaggerated from what the reality is. So yeah, I mean, so the cities we're talking about, Boston, cities in California, Baltimore, Toronto, these are big cities, and if they win, hopefully you see a movement just like we have with the auto workers in Tennessee and other places.
Yeah, well, and it's interesting. We talk about concessions for salaries. It's everybody below the executive ranks, right? Why are the workers always getting fucked? That's the question. Yeah. And again, as a Sean Fain comes out and says, "Hey, look, I know what's happening. This is what's happening." Everybody's looking at him going, yeah, that's exactly what's happening. That's why you need to join a union. So I really see the UAW getting stronger. We've been talking about this, and all these other unions are going to continue to gain momentum because many of these individuals have to work more than one job because they are getting paid poverty wages. And that, to me, that's just inhumane.
Inhumane. Unlike our sponsorship advertisements, which are very people friendly. We'll be right back.
Very humane.
Hospitality is the heart of our society. It brings people together to share great food, drinks, and experiences. But successfully managing a restaurant or hotel is no easy feat. That's where Harri comes in. Harri is the frontline employee experience platform that helps you build, manage, and engage great teams. With Harri, managers can easily find and hire top talent, manage timekeeping, and communicate with employees at any time from any place. Candidates and team members can quickly and efficiently apply for jobs, swap shifts, and access important information entirely from their mobile devices. And Harri's robust employee engagement tools make team members feel more connected than ever. With Harri, as an owner or operator, you get a bird's eye view of your business, from turnover cost, labor cost, employee sentiment, compliance risk, and team performance. Run your business better by understanding the power of your people. Because when your team is the heart of your business, Harri is the heartbeat. See how it transforms your business.
All right, Chad. The Biden administration plans to reclassify marijuana as a Schedule III controlled substance, recognizing its medical benefits. This move follows recommendations from the Department of Justice and could lead to easier access for research and changes in the cannabis industry. Despite this reclassification, marijuana will remain illegal under federal law for recreational use, but a step in the right direction, I suspect.
Yes.
Your thoughts?
Yeah, my thoughts are a little reefer madness. I think I want to share something with the listeners, and especially those watching on YouTube. So here we go. Watch this. This is Reefer Madness from 1936. This was actually a movie, kids.
These high school boys and girls are having a hop at the local soda fountain. Innocently, they dance. Innocent of a new and deadly menace lurking behind closed doors. Marijuana, a burning weed with its roots in hell. In this film, you will see the ease with which this vicious plant can be grown in your neighbor's yard, rolled into harmless-looking cigarettes, hidden in an innocent shoe or watch case.
If you want a good smoke, try one of these.
You will meet Bill, who once took pride in his strong
women.
will as he takes the first step toward enslavement.
Of course, if you're afraid.
Not sure how women being looser and hornier is a way to get people to not smoke it.
Oh, yeah. He's going over the edge.
Smoking the soul-destroying reefer, they find a moment's pleasure, but at a terrible price. Debauchery, violence, murder,
suicide,
and the ultimate end of the marijuana addict. Hopeless insanity.
Oh my God.
See this important film now, before it is too late.
Is he having a heart attack?
before it's too late. Reefer Madness, kids. So that was the kind of bullshit propaganda in the 1930s, right? So I have never, and you tell me, I've had discussions with many of my friends around this. I've never seen somebody smoke weed or do weed and get aggressive, get violent.
Suicidal.
Never. Or suicidal. None of that.
No,
None of that happens.
Look, every film back then had to pass
ridiculous.
through government filter, and you don't think the tobacco companies didn't have something to say about the making of that movie? Yeah, totally ridiculous. But look, I had no idea marijuana up until this legislation was the same category as fentanyl, heroin. Like, no common sense person would say that fentanyl is on the same
cocaine.
Yeah, on the same level. It's less. Cocaine is less apparently than marijuana. So this to me is a logical thing. Let's be frank; it's smart to do in election season. If I'm Joe Biden, I want more younger people in these states that some are swing states. Hello, Michigan. That would probably be favorable to this. I haven't talked about my time at the Sphere with fish. I don't know.
Yes.
Look, there was some hot messes. There were some hot messes at the Sphere for fish. So be responsible. Be responsible, kids. You can't overdo it, but you can't overdose, and there's no hangover. So there's that. By the way, whiskey sales down. Beer, wine. Like the kids are doing gummies and edibles and not doing the whiskey stuff, which for me, frankly, is great news. It means cheaper whiskey and more available whiskey. So as far as I'm concerned, we out.
Amen. We out.
Thank you for listening to, what's it called? A podcast. The Chad. The Cheese. Brilliant. They talk about recruiting. They talk about technology. But most of all, they talk about nothing. Just a lot of shout-outs of people you don't even know, and yet you're listening. It's incredible. And not one word about cheese. Not one. Cheddar, blue, nacho, pepper jack, Swiss. So many cheeses, and not one word. So weird. Anywho, be sure to subscribe today on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. That way you won't miss an episode. And while you're at it, visit www.chadcheese.com. Just don't expect to find any recipes for grilled cheese. It's so weird. We out!